ADHD brain and mind is the most powerful piece of technology on this planet. It's like Einstein has had sex with a Ferrari and produced you. That's the first thing I want you to know today. My name is Lee Freeman, and I am the host of this Reprogram Your Mind podcast and an ADHD fat loss master coach. So today, I'm going to discuss exactly with you why your brain is the most powerful tool on this earth if, I repeat, if you learn how to program it properly. So what I'm going to discuss is a powerful daily I am affirmation and statement that you can tell yourself every single day. And I guarantee you that if you do, and you implement what you're about to learn on this podcast, your entire life will change in just 30 days. It will improve in 1 day. It will improve massively in 7 days. 30 days of repeating this one thing that I'm going to teach you today, along with the neuroscience behind it, will completely change your life. And when it does, and if you do it, I want you to drop me a message on Instagram, Lee Freeman UK_, and let me know the changes that you saw in your life as a result of doing this one thing that will take you 2 to 3 minutes every single day for the next 30 days. Now, I'm also going to put forward that if you are struggling with absolutely anything at all, if you have the habit of waking up and the day takes over and you're constantly overwhelmed, overworked, stressed, chasing your ass, fighting fires, reactive, and everything in between, and you choose not to do it, then that's your responsibility, because you're choosing not to do one thing that you've just heard will rapidly move your life forward from a man who's not only done it with himself, but has done it with over 2,000 clients. So, right now, right this second, your brain is firing millions of neurons. Millions more than a neurotypical brain, as I'm sure you know. Now, first of all, you need to reframe your ADHD very quickly. And you need to realize it can become your strength, not your struggle. It's not a bad thing. It's your superpower. You just haven't learned how to drive that Ferrari, and nobody's ever taught you, which is why you keep crashing it into walls regularly on most days, if not most weeks. So the neurons that fire essentially create the thoughts that shape your life and that shape your reality. And in a smaller, shrunk down version, they shape each and every day. So these thoughts that you choose, especially in the moment as soon as you wake up, which is what we're really going to come on to, literally program your brain, program your mind, program your body for everything that follows that day. You might not believe me now, but this isn't wishy-washy. This isn't mumbo-jumbo. This is neuroscience. So if you're currently waking up and having a negative thought before your brain has even moved out of alpha state, which is the state where it's very highly programmable, then you'll now begin to understand why you can't stop thinking so negatively and why you often focus on everything that's bad in the world. Now, if your initial thoughts are of calmness, love, gratitude, abundance, then you're going to get more of that. And that's how the day is going to be programmed. Likewise, if you wake up, and I'll come on to why this probably happens, and you choose fear, lack, scarcity, anxiety, stress, worry, then that is what's going to follow. This one thing that I'm going to teach you today can completely transform your life today. I hope that is enough to keep you watching, because you don't even have to wait until tomorrow. You can start with this right now. You can repeat this every day and have a strategy to feel focused, to feel abundant, to feel happy, to feel positive, and to completely change your mindset and happiness from the moment you have watched this podcast. So thank you for being here. As I said, this isn't wishy-washy. This isn't mumbo jumbo. This is a scientific declaration that will rewire and reprogram your mind. It will also rewire your brain chemistry. As I said, this is at a deep scientific level. It will change your energy field, and it will also work at a level of quantum physics to change what is possible for you in your mind and in your life. So I'm going to start with a question for you guys. And this could even go into one of these podcasts, and Cam will back me up on this. Sometimes we come on and everything just goes to flow, and I've delivered multiple podcasts without a single flaw. Other times I have days when we are literally stopping editing. I can't get my words out. Everything gets jumbled up and it's just a disaster. And then I get reactive and then I find it harder because I'm stressed. Similar to a day, right? Have you ever noticed how some days everything just flows? You get out of bed, you're happy, you're driven, you're focused, your energy's on point. The day goes effortlessly to the level where you end up saying something like, and I've said this before, fuck me, I'm going to go and buy a lottery ticket. Because you're feeling that lucky, you're feeling that abundant that you're actually like, I'm just going to go and get a lottery ticket because everything that's happened today is so good. How could I possibly not pick the winning 6 numbers? Everything's positive, opportunities everywhere. Yet some days are like treading through wet mud or wet sand. There's resistance everywhere. Everyone seems to want to have an argument. Everything goes wrong. You stub your toe. It's a nightmare getting the kids ready for school. You go to have your breakfast and you pour your milk all down the side. You can't find your clothes. The dog craps on the carpet. Everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. And yet you then go through the day and that continues. And even though you've gone 100 miles an hour all day long, you went absolutely fucking nowhere. In fact, you probably convinced yourself that you went backwards. So how can 2 days be so different? How can 2 podcasts be so different? How could 2 relationships be so different? How could 2 training runs or marathons be so different? That's happened to me. How could 2 games of rugby be so different? So the difference is your state, your preparation, and your energetic state of being. So your thoughts, feelings, and energy, as soon as you wake up, will resemble your thoughts, feeling, and energy throughout the day. And remember, focus creates feeling. So if you may be feeling not 100% at the minute, and you're worried and stressed and anxious, look at where you're focusing. Because focus creates feelings. You only have to look on social media at the moment. Everything about immigration, everything about riots, everything about what's bad in the world, everything about what's going on in England, what's going on in Syria, you have to think, if that's what you get up and focus on, you're going to feel anxious, stressed, afraid, and everything in between. If maybe your relationship isn't on fire at the moment and you focus on what your partner's not doing, how they've let you down, what happened yesterday that didn't make you feel good, and everything in between, you're going to get more feelings of that: anger, stress, worry, judgment. If you focus on 10 things you love and appreciate about them, you're going to feel love and gratitude. It really is that simple. But the reason why this is so important and why this podcast episode is so important to me is it isn't an anytime thing. Like, you have to understand it's always the first 5 minutes of every day. And I'm going to come on to exactly why it's the first 5 minutes of every day. Because what happens in here will set your tone for the entire day. So why does this go so wrong? Well, most people wake up and the first thing they do is they pick up this little thing and they dive straight into their Instagram. See how many people have liked their post yesterday because dopamine. See how many people watched their stories yesterday because dopamine. See who sent them a message. Then they dive into their emails. Then they maybe have a quick look on the news, see what's going on in the world, and then dive into WhatsApp. And immediately get triggered. Start fighting fires, start replying to messages, start trying to handle the day before the day's even been planned, before they've even had a coffee. And the second you do that, trust me on my little boy's life, the second you get up and pick up your phone, go into WhatsApp, go into Instagram, go into Facebook, go into fucking TikTok and Snapchat or whatever the kids watch these days, and start consuming your mind with other people's lives, spectating essentially, or dealing with other people's problems before you've sorted yourself out, you are handing over, I haven't got any keys here, but you are handing over the keys to your day to someone else, because you are losing control of it. You're losing control of your mind, your feelings, and you're literally allowing the world and everyone in it to program you before you've even had a coffee. Very often before you've even got out of bed. She probably won't watch this podcast, but I have to give Nat a bit of a clip round the ear about her phone in bed, because she will fall into this. She will pick it up as soon as she gets up in the morning. She will look at it just before bed. And I have to say, because it's a habit, and I used to do it. What are you doing? What are you looking at? I don't know. So that last thing will be what's in your subconscious thoughts all night. The first thing will be what's in your subconscious alpha thoughts as soon as you get up. Just for clarity there, I was talking figuratively. I don't actually give my partner a clip round here. So what will happen is, it's very often the same as yesterday. It's not new struggles, new anxiety, new people you're following, new messages. Like, it's the same struggles, it's the same stress, it's the same worries, it's the same anxiety, the same anger, the same feelings that everyone's doing better than you, everyone's further along in life, everyone's got it easier, everyone's in a loving relationship when you're not, everyone's got a better car than you, everyone's got a better job than you, everyone's got a better body than you, and you're just instantly triggered. And most people, it's not just the same as yesterday, it's the same as last week, it's the same as the month before, and it's for years and years and years on autopilot. That is literally what they do. Have a look around you, maybe even look at your partner if you don't do it. It's the worst habit in the world. Yet 90%, I would say, of the country are probably doing it because they sleep with their phone by their bed. Get yourself an old school alarm clock. So anyway, before I go off on a rant about that anyway. So every time we do this, every time we check something that's not serving us, check our banking as soon as we get up just to make sure that we really are as skint as we thought we were. Jump on the scales just to reaffirm that we actually haven't lost any weight when we know we haven't lost any weight. Go onto socials just to check that we have feelings and emotions that everyone's doing better than us, even though we already know we do. And it will set the tone for your entire life, because you're unconsciously reaffirming the same beliefs that you might have had from a 5-year child onwards, the same limitations that have held you back your entire life. And when you think the same thoughts of lack, scarcity, fear, and worry, you create the same beliefs of lack, scare, scarcity, and worry, and those will create the same behaviors. And it will be your behaviors that create the same outcomes and the personal reality that you live. So always remember, going back to thoughts create feelings. Focus creates feelings. So whatever you're thinking and focusing on will create how you feel. Now your brain should really be ticking. Have a little scan through it. What do you generally tend to think about as soon as you get up in the morning? What do you generally tend to fall asleep thinking about? Write that down. So when this happens, as ridiculous as it sounds now, people then worry why they continue living the same existence, the same life, the same reality, the same worries. Some people will carry those worries and struggles all the way through to their grave, having never once thought something needs to change here. But I'm guessing not you. I'm guessing you don't want to live that life forever. I'm guessing you're not an ADHD victim who wants to blame it as the reason why you can't do anything. And even if you don't have ADHD, I'm guessing the reason you're watching this is because you want more prosperity, more fulfillment, more love, more income, more freedom, more results, more success, and everything in between, so that you can truly learn to live life on your terms. So you are different. Don't doubt that. You are better. Don't doubt that. And you're an absolute warrior, ADHD or not, who's ready to break free from these unconscious patterns with what you're about to learn, and how to also remove yourself from the thoughts that have been running your entire life, just like a program runs a computer. So you are here to change these thoughts, change these beliefs, change your personal reality, so you can achieve anything that you want. You can live the wildest life you've ever imagined, and you can live the dream that you've often thought about, but right now may have forgotten about. So if you're watching on YouTube, drop me an amen in the comments right now if you're ready to take control, move forwards, and live your wildest dreams. So here's what we need to do, and here's what you want to do, okay? We need to stop being a victim of the past. We need to stop being a victim of situations and circumstances. We need to stop being a victim of our neurodiversity. We need to stop being a victim of old, outdated programming led from other people that we didn't even sign up for. And we need to start being, drum roll, the creator and the master of your destiny. I want you to say that out loud now. I want you to repeat it to yourself 10 times. I am the master and the creator of my destiny. Shout it. I am the master of my destiny. I am the creator of my destiny. I am in charge of my life. I focus only on the future. I don't blame the past. I never blame situation or circumstance for where I am. I focus only on what I want, which is my compelling vision of the future, and I get shit done. That is a powerful I am affirmation. 90% of you that are watching this have probably maybe messaged me at some point. And if I went through all of your messages, especially when many of you reach out to me on Instagram, and the first question I'll ask is, how can I help you? What's the big dream you want to work towards? And very often, even when I say that, people completely ignore the question and reply with, I am struggling with. I am X what they feel they are. And you're affirming the same things. When people say anything from, I struggle with this, I struggle with that, you're reaffirming. Think about teaching someone something. You're teaching your mind to believe that you struggle. You're teaching your mind to believe that you're a technophobe. You're teaching your mind to believe that you don't have the headspace, that you're not good enough, that you're not clever enough, that you procrastinate, that you can't focus, that you struggle with focus, that you struggle with getting things done. That for some reason you believe that the diagnosis is going to change your life. It won't. It'll just shift you from, why do I always behave like this, to, that's why I behave like that. But both of those two things we can change. Now, when we can really shift this, right? And when we can really start to take control, and I'm going to teach you how, life will feel effortless. And this isn't just possible. It's possible for this to become your natural state. If you can be unfocused, you can be focused. If you can be happy, you can be sad. If you can be positive, you can be negative. If you can be non-judgmental, you can be, everything has an opposite, right? And we're all on these spectrums somewhere. Like happy can't exist without sad. Fear can't exist without courage. So we can shift towards the other end of the spectrum. Now, as simple as this might sound, the big thing is you probably just have never had the right tools. You've never had the right understanding, the right coaching, and the right community. So you've never learned how to train your thoughts. So how would you possibly know to do it? Now, this simple thing that I'm about to share with you, has not only helped me and has changed my life, it's helped thousands of my clients, again, which you can see on Instagram, achieve their dream bodies, their dream businesses, meaningful relationships, happy, fulfilling lives, get everything handled and everything in between. Now, each of them have also completely transformed and reprogrammed their minds and their ADHD. So they've achieved their dream bodies, they've manifested opportunity, they've created meaningful relationships, and they've accessed new levels of energy, clarity, and focus. The exact things that their opening messages told me that they were struggling with and that were holding them back. Of course they were, because they'd stated it to the universe, this is who I am, and that's what I struggle with. Now, most of these people in the beginning didn't dream it was possible. And I always say the same thing to many of my clients. You don't need to believe. You don't need confidence. You don't need motivation. In this initial period, you can borrow mine because I believe in you and I have confidence in you. And I know that without any shadow of a doubt, if you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything that you want. But it all starts with reprogramming your mind and reprogramming your ADHD in the absolutely fucking critical, excuse my language, first 5 minutes of the day. Here's why. When you wake up, your brain produces different types of electrical wavelengths dependent on your state of consciousness. This is also how hypnotherapy works, and we can accept things more when we're in that alpha state. So when you wake up, you are in an alpha state. You're relaxed, you're not resistant, you're highly receptive, and this is where your subconscious mind is highly, highly programmable. Do not waste that precious shit on Instagram, WhatsApp, or emails. It's your absolute pinnacle 5 minutes of the day to change. It's the perfect and most critical time to plant your new thoughts, your new beliefs, and your new affirmations. Because not only are you more receptive in the alpha state, your analytical, critical, resistant mind hasn't yet woken up. It hasn't yet activated. Now, as exciting as this is, I also need you to understand that the exact same 5 minutes is the danger zone. Have you ever gone to bed worried, stressed, anxious, and upset about a certain situation? Or rethinking a conversation you had with your partner earlier in the day, or something that happened with your boss or a business colleague, or anything at all? And you end up thinking about it, falling asleep, and then the second you wake up, what do you think about? 100 times out of 100, that exact same thing. Now, what about if that exact same thing was a compelling vision of your future? How different could life be? But we need to understand it's as exciting as it is dangerous. Get it right, new levels. Get it wrong, you're going to go backwards. So, as I said, most people waste this precious window on their phone and they do nothing but flood the brain with stress, fear, worry, comparison, and limitation before it's even conscious, before it even has chance to think whether it's accepting these thoughts or not. And this will basically multiply all day long. So if that first 5 minute window is filled with stress, anxiety, worry, and fear, that will set the time for your entire day. And the thoughts will also multiply. I actually call this ants, automatic negative thoughts. So it's like an ant's nest. It will get bigger and bigger and bigger. Great thing is, it works the other way. So from today onwards, I want you to commit to me right now. Promise me. Comment promise on YouTube if you're watching. The link will be around here somewhere. And install new programming. Update your software. Update your brain and create new programming. but programming that aligns with your highest potential. You have a choice. You can get up and tell yourself that you're not good enough and nothing ever works out for you. People don't love you, people don't trust you, people don't respect you. Or you can wake up and say, I'm in control, I'm in charge, I can achieve anything that I want. I don't blame, I don't make excuses. And you can choose a programming and a software that aligns with your highest potential and the future that you've always desired. Now, I want you to understand something important about exactly how your brain works. So, the brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in the external world and how it's making you feel and what you're imagining and visualizing in your internal world. As I said, this isn't mumbo jumbo. This isn't wishy-washy. This is neuroscience. This is scientifically backed. So when you visualize something in your brain will release the same neurochemicals as if it's actually happening. Try it right now. Sit back, close your eyes, and think of the happiest, proudest, funniest, most memorable moment of your entire life. And you will flood the brain with chemicals of serotonin, happiness, joy, and everything in between. Or you could do the same. And you can close your eyes and you can go back to the worst situation in your life, the crisis, the worst day of your life. And you'll flood the brain with neurochemicals of fear, scarcity, worry, cortisol. But it doesn't know the difference. I've done this on such a deep level with transcendental meditations, right? On a period in my life when I didn't have any of the things that I have now, and I was actually quite down and I was quite depressed. And I used to visualize me being back with Nat and me, her and Logan being on holiday in the Maldives, and I was sat at the bottom of a water slide with my arms out. Logan was coming down the slide, laughing, I was catching him, and Nat was smiling at the top. Like, I visualized that and felt it on such a level that I was literally there. I could feel the water on my legs. I could feel the happiness in my body. I was flooding myself with serotonin. And you can do that exact same thing, because trust me, your brain doesn't know the difference, okay? This is why mental rehearsal is so important and so powerful. If you watch this, send me a message on Instagram and I'm gonna tag you in a video of when I just completed running 200 consecutive miles. Now, what will shock you is, one, it was the most unplanned, amazing moment of my life. Logan ran out the last 50, 60 meters in front of all the cameras. I'll cherish it for the rest of my life. I picked him up, gave him a hug, and then he ran the last 50, 60 meters with me. Now, when I got to the end, you'll see all of this on camera. I'm virtually emotionless. I don't cry. I don't celebrate. I don't clap. I had an amazing hug with Nat and Logan said, team. And I almost just walked around as if I'd just not done anything. Why? Because I'd already done that moment thousands of times in my mind. It wasn't new. It wasn't a new experience. I'd visualized it. I'd seen it. I'd felt the emotions. So when they actually happened, it wasn't like, oh my God, I've done this. I'm so happy. I'm so emotional. I'm so X. I'd already felt those emotions. So all high performers do this, from CEOs to Olympic athletes to footballers, American footballers, and everything in between. Because when you visualize, your brain focus creates new neural connections. And these are based on what you repeatedly focus on. So again, shock horror, if you're repeatedly focusing on shit and looking at life through the shit colored filter, then it's not surprising that you feel low energy all the time. We have to retrain it and focus the other way. But right now, you're probably realizing why you're not possibly feeling on fire, why your energy's not on point, why you're waking up and you're not feeling, as happy and focused as maybe you were one day. And it all comes down to this. And it's the same as, everyone, when I initially talk to them about their ADHD, all they're focusing on is their ADHD and the struggles that come along with it, and they're awaiting diagnosis and how it's affecting them and how it's bringing them down. They've not once said, I really want to learn how I can utilize it like you do. People ask me all the time, how did you run 200 consecutive miles? Easy, ADHD. How do I do most of the things that I do? Easy, ADHD. Do I struggle with it sometimes? Yeah, of course I do, because I'm human. But the more you talk about the struggles, the more neuro connections you're going to create to the struggles. The more you talk about the strengths and focus on them, the more neuro connections you're going to create with that. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So let's hard fire and hard wire the correct connections. You need to reframe it. Not how it holds me back, how do I use it to move me forwards? 99% of the most successful people I know, and even celebrities that I don't know, have ADHD. So start understanding it's a superpower, not a ball and chain around your leg that's holding you back. Now, again, to teach you this focus thing, right? So do this week as a test, right? Every day, think black Land Rover Defender. Get up and have a picture of a black Land Rover Defender as your screensaver or wallpaper on your phone and on your iPad. Have a look at them on Auto Trader. Shop for them. Set an alarm for 1 hour, and every hour of every day, have a look at a picture of a black Land Rover Defender. I guarantee you, without any shadow of a doubt, as soon as you're out driving or walking, as soon as you go into a car park, as soon as you go into the supermarket, as soon as you're on the motorway, virtually the only car that you will see will be a black Land Rover Defender. I've tested this hundreds of times. You can also do that with your dream body. You can also do that with something as random as the colour purple, which is my electrolytes. If you walked around and you closed your eyes and all you thought about was the colour purple, eventually, even cam shorts are purple-ish, my eyes went to it straight away then, without even thinking about it. Because when I was scanning the room, colour purple, oh yeah, edge of my cricket bat thing, purple. Drink, purple. Cam shorts, purple. Cam's lipstick, but I'm joking. So, your brain will consistently focus on what you show it more of. So if you keep showing it lack, scarcity, low self-worth, who's let you down, what happened in the past, more and more and more and more. We have to do the opposite, because if we consistently focus on lack and limitation, the brain's going to get hardwired for more. If we consistently focus on opportunity and abundance, then your brain's going to hardwire it to create more. This is why when you're on fire, you attract everything. This is why when you're being miserable and mardy and your energy's low, you repel everything. This is why when you say can't do, you're going to get more things that you can't do. You're affirming to the world and the universe that you can't do this, that you can't do that you self-sabotage, that your ADHD holds you back, that you're a technophobe, that you have imposter syndrome, that you have whatever else it is you want to tell yourself you have. You're literally confirming it. Do it the other way. I can, I can, I can. I am, I will. And again, you're confirming that with the universe. So every single time you have any thought, I promise you on this, I've tested it, not only with myself, but with thousands of clients over the last 5 years. Your brain releases a chemistry that makes you feel a certain way. When you see a girl or a boy, or a fucking unicorn, if we're being PC, that you find the most attractive in the world, how do you feel? Think about it. You might feel nervous. You might feel aroused. You might feel happy. You might go weak at the knees. It's only because of the thought that you had about that person from looking at them. You can do the same with your life. Create a fucking life to look at every day that makes you feel weak at the knees, rather than focusing on what you don't have. Because every thought in your brain releases a chemical that will make you feel a certain way. So if I'm saying, I am the strongest, sexiest, most confident man alive. How do I feel? Well, if I say it enough times, I'm going to feel like the strongest, sexiest, most confident man alive, whether I am or not. The brain doesn't recognize the difference between internal and external. But what if I say I'm a short little bald loser who's never going to achieve anything, nobody loves me and everything's happening to me because of my past, and then blame, complain, justify? Guess what? I'm going to feel like shit. The chemicals come from the thoughts and they will create the feelings. Like, imprint that on the back of your eyelid. Focus creates feelings. Focus creates feelings. And all of these feelings and thoughts, what they do is they reinforce the thought. So you have the thought and you have the feeling, and then the feeling reinforces the thought. It's like a loop. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm asking you, because you can't reply to me. But when this happens, you're then creating a circle. So I have this thought, I feel that way, then I have that thought again, then I feel that way. And it goes round and round and round until it creates a mental habit. So if you've spent the last 20 years having a mental thought that you're not good enough and you're not worthy of love and you can't do anything because of ADHD and everything is your parents' fault and everyone in the world's bad and everyone always lets you down and men can't be trusted and all men are the same and everything in between, and then that's made you feel a certain way, afraid, anxious, worried, and then you have the thought again. It's just looping round and round and round and round. You have to change it, because that feedback loop is what essentially forms your mental habits, your emotional habits, your physical habits. And the reality is most of us are caught in habits that don't serve us. But the most amazing thing is you can listen to this. Bang! I'm not going to spill my drink. That moment right there should have pattern interrupted you. You can change it at any time. You can deliberately interrupt that thought process. You can change the TV channel. What do you do if you don't like the film you're watching? Change the fucking channel. What do you do if you don't like the song on the radio? You skip it on to the next one. If you don't like the thoughts you're having, change them. Create new feelings. You could go from listening to some shitty R&B drum and bass young and newbie song on the radio that's literally like, oh God, it's making my ears bleed. Like, this is a crime against music. It shouldn't even have even been released. And then you can flick it onto a beautiful, soulful piano house classic that takes you right back to a 90s rave. And you go from, oh, that sounds horrible, to, oh my God, you remember when we heard this at Love Parade? Like, within seconds, and everything else is the same. And I'm getting a bit carried away now, but it's because I'm passionate about this, because it's so true. Choose new thoughts. New thoughts create new beliefs. New beliefs create new actions and new behaviors and new results and a new life. And that's the fucking life that I want for you. And that's why you're watching this podcast. Honestly, this is the most powerful thing in the world, but you have to do it as soon as you open your eyes. Don't even wait to have a coffee. I don't even care if you've got morning wood and you can't get rid of it. Just do it as soon as you wake up, because that is the only time it really works, and that's the only time it's most powerful, is when you open your eyes, because that is when your brain is 100 times more receptive than any other time of day. You haven't picked up your phone. You haven't let anyone else take control of the day. You haven't slipped into thinking the same thoughts that you created yesterday, that created the same beliefs, the same feelings, and the same reality. So say this one thing: I am the creator and the master of my own destiny. Believe it, shout it, write it on your mirror, write it on a piece of paper, post it around your bedroom, have it on your screensaver. But say it every day, because this statement is so powerful. I cannot tell you how powerful it is. And there's so many variations of it. Most of you will know by now, if you've watched all of these podcasts, we're on episode 14, that my granddad was the most influential man in my life. And I've told many of the stories about how, looking back now, it was even obvious that I had ADHD then, because he had to carve the words concentrate on the elbow of my cricket bat so that I didn't get out and just ruin great innings. And every shot, I read it, reset myself, focused. That's how I became a great cricketer. Okay? But also the thing that he told me, boy, you can achieve anything you want in life if you're willing to put your mind to it and do the work. That's no different statement. And it's so powerful. But most people will live the life of the victim, as if they only can react to circumstances that are beyond their control. They're reactive, not proactive. So they don't proactively create their life, they just react to what's going on around them. Distracted, unfocused, fighting fires, more focused on other people's lives than they are their own. Remember, transformation is not a spectator sport. And when you're in that mindset, you feel like you're at the mercy of the world. You're at the mercy of your past, of everyone else. And we focus on everything apart from our own conscious thoughts and subconscious thoughts, which we can change both of. So we have to shift to looking at what we can control. We have to place our attention on our intention, because you don't just experience life as reality. You create it, because you're the creator and the master of your own destiny. You're the creator of your thoughts, and your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings and thoughts create your beliefs, and your beliefs create your behaviors, and your behaviors will create your life. So when I affirm every morning, I have to set a reminder on my phone for this. It's on my alarm. I am the creator of my own life. I am the master of my destiny. You are literally waking up, and the second you wake up, when your mind is at the most receptive, when it can be reprogrammed, when it's in that alpha state, and you're stepping into the truth of who you really want to be. You're acknowledging that regardless of what's happened, who hurt you, what didn't work out, when you failed, what you're struggling with, that you have the power to choose differently today. You're declaring that you're not shackled by memories of the past. You're being pulled and inspired by a captivating and compelling vision of your future. This isn't just about wishy-washy bullshit positive thinking. This is about taking responsibility for your energy, taking responsibility for your state, taking responsibility for your own life, which will always come from your thoughts. You're taking responsibility for your choices. You're taking responsibility for your decisions. And you're taking responsibility for how you feel. Because as I said, using that song as an analogy, you can change it at any time. If you don't like how you're feeling, change your thoughts. So when I say I am the creator and the master of my own destiny, I'm literally dropping every single ounce of the victim mentality. And it's that keeps people stuck. And that's why people fail. Because when we're in a victim mentality, essentially we're saying, like, I'm just a passenger, whatever. Like, I hate this phrase, what will be, will be. No, it won't. I would never live my life by that mindset. What will be what I create. Now, when we are so firm on this, that we're the master and the creator, we're saying essentially, like, I don't control what happens around me, but I control how I respond to it. And that's one of my favorite mindset quotes. It's on a video that Jason did for me when I did the 100-mile ultra for Lacey and John. And it said, when you can't control what's happening to you, but you can control how you respond to it, that's where your power is at. And that's what most people don't do. And the reality is, your response is your responsibility. Responsibility backwards is your ability to respond. So you can't control what happens today in the external world, but you can control how you respond to it. But if you choose not to and play the victim, you're always going to stay stuck. Now, I control what I focus on. I control what I make it mean. I control how I perceive situations. I control the meaning I give to it. As I said, I control the energy that I bring. I control my attitude. And the more you say that, and the more you believe it, the more you really will become the creator. So the moment you really truly embrace this affirmation, I promise you something will shift inside to you. And I'm literally feel like I'm begging you to do it, because I know how life-changing it is. Because you stop blaming others. You stop waiting for the right time, and you stop making excuses. And the biggest thing, if someone said to me, if there is one thing that I could share with every single individual in this world that would change their life, It's no matter what's happened, as long as you continue to blame anyone or anything, irrelevant of how toxic what they've done is, you're always going to stay stuck. Always. And the second you can have that shift, like, again, state this to yourself now, I will never, ever blame anyone or anything for where I am. When you can do that, you will live the most freest life you ever could have imagined, because you're in control. That happened, but I don't blame you. I forgive you. I'm in control. I'm in control of how I feel. But when you're blaming, you're not in control. You're looking to give control to somebody else because you're making it their fault. So, you know, you have to believe that you truly are the creator. You truly are the master, and you can create anything in the world that you want. And that question and that statement every morning changes everything. Now, once you've said it, this is a game-changing part to add on to the end of it. So, I am the master and the creator of my own destiny. Say it 10 times until you believe it, until you can memorize it, just like I can, and say it 100 times. And then follow that up with, on a piece of paper, what do I want to create today? And then just write it out. And flood your brain with dopamine. Flood it with serotonin. Flood it with positivity. Flood it with a compelling vision of the future. And stop being shackled by memories of the past. Because when this happens, we move from reactive to proactive. We move from spectating to getting in the ring. We move from victim to warrior. We move from disempowered, weak and hopeless to empowered and strong. We move from the passenger seat to the driver's seat. And doing this will create the most incredible foundation for each and every day. So I'm just going to recap at the end how you can do this. And before I do, because I'm going to end on it, as always, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to the channel. Please share it with someone who needs it. Give it a like, give it a comment. Let me know you're here. Give me an amen when I said give me an amen. And I massively look forward to seeing you next week. Now, I want you to do this with me as if you've just woken up. So I want you to wake up. I want you to sit up in your bed right now as if you've just woken up, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to have 10 very big deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I want you to say it out loud 10 times with conviction and mean it. I am the creator and the master of my own destiny. I am the creator and the master of my own destiny. And I want you to vividly imagine your day. Every color, every smell, every action, every feeling. And I want you to see life as you want it to be. I want you to be seeing life on your terms. I want you to feel love, happiness, contentment, gratitude, abundance. I want you to see your future, the compelling vision of your future that you've written down. And then I want you to walk in today like you've already achieved everything that you want. You've already become the person that you need to be to achieve your wildest dreams. And for you to truly, truly understand that you are the creator and the master of your own destiny. I love you all.